and for 48 pages you'd pay 200 cedis. The new fares that have come up, and 32 pages will cost you 500 Ghana cedis. 48 pages will cost you 644 Ghana cedis, and then expedite services, 32 pages will cost you 700 Ghana cedis, and for 800 Ghana cedis you will get 48 pages. The minister responsible for foreign affairs and regional integration, Shirley Ayokobuchi, had said that, well, don't go for a passport if you have need for none. My colleague Noble Crosby Annan has been watching the issues and has done a wrap. Take a listen.
In December last year, the Foreign Affairs Ministry announced a push for an increase in passport application fee. Foreign Affairs Minister Shirley Ayokobuchi stated that the state's 300 cedis budget for the booklet is not sustainable.
The passport applicant pays 100, the state absorbs 300. It cannot be the case that it will continue because it is affecting even our operations. And Ghanaians are complaining that, the service, it takes long to get a passport and all of that. If government is subsidizing heavily passports, it is difficult to provide any good service to Ghanaians.
The passport application portal has announced a change in fees for the 32-page booklet from 100 cedis to 500 cedis. Expedited services for the same booklet, which was previously priced at 150 cedis, are now available for 700 cedis. The minister advised Ghanaians against obtaining passports if they do not need them.
I'm asking humbly Ghanaians that please, if you do not have need for a passport and because you cannot afford it, please, humbly, I'm asking you not to go for a passport.
She noted that the new fees have been approved by Parliament and can only be reversed by the same institution.
Parliament agreed to increase it, and so it's been done. If Parliament decides that we should go back, we'll have to look at it. It's Parliament that has decided, and we will go by what they've decided.
That's Noble Crosby Annan's report there, and with the minister responsible for foreign affairs and regional integration.
Yeah, I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly.
And for those who believe they can fly, they are now being told that, well, if you have no need for a passport, do not get in there. The Honorable Samuel Okujetua Blackwell, as a member of Parliament for the good people of Northtown, is joining us on the phone lines right now. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am fine. How about you?
I am greater than Accra.
Great.
How did we arrive at these fees where people have to pay cutthroat prices or fees just to acquire a passport?
Good morning to your audience. Let me declare that, like many Ghanaians, for those of us, particularly on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, we are in utter shock. The level of contempt the Minister for Foreign Affairs has exhibited in this matter and how she has treated our committee. The records will show that on the 12th of December 2023, when she appeared before our committee for approval of her estimates on the 2024 budget, on the sidelines, I will say sidelines because it was not contained in the budget, she dropped hints that she would want the budget, the passport application fees increased. I then, if you look at the verbatim report, a copy of which I have secured yesterday from the clerk to the committee, which I will make available to you and the whole world to see.
Right.
You will see from the verbatim report of the proceedings of 12 December 2023 that I said, look, this matter is not before us. You are claiming you subsidize passports. You haven't brought us any figures. We don't know the veracity of this claim. You are doing all kinds of analysis about how low our passport application fees are. I don't really see any crime in that. If we're charging lower, there are many other things that other people in other African countries pay far lower than us. So if we have one on them, I don't really see what the justification is. So I said that, look, there is nothing before us. We are dealing with a separate subject matter, which is the budget approval. If you go through the entire estimate, there is not a single item in the estimate which speaks to budget subsidy on passports. If indeed we are subsidizing passports, it will have reflected in the budget. There's nothing like that. And colleagues supported, particularly from the NDC side of the committee. And we concluded that they would have to prepare and come before us. Only for us to hear that apparently they have taken advantage of some general fees and charges the government was putting together across numerous sectors, from Lands Commission to EPA to all manner of places, and just smuggled it in. And you know that once these allies are laid, you can't stop it. You need 2/3 of members of the House. We don't have that. So even though NDC MPs expressed our opposition to this at the level of the Foreign Affairs Committee when it was first raised on the 12th of December, and indeed, if you even read the report we presented to the House on the budget estimates of the ministry, we said that this matter was not approved, it was not decided upon, and that we are waiting for the ministry to come back to us. It's all contained in the report. I'm being very transparent here. I have heard some people say that there was probably some quiet conspiracy amongst the politicians behind the scenes to have this approved. Nothing can be further from the truth.
So you're suggesting to us this morning that the majority or the government put a fast one on you by hiding this from you and then pushing it in through the back door just so they could get what they wanted done. Is that the indication?
Exactly. That is what happens. And it happened. And I'm saying this on authority. They exploited a loophole in the system. When they saw that this would not receive a bipartisan support at the Foreign Affairs Committee, they didn't return to us. Read the verbatim report of proceedings on the 12th of December 2023. And even our report, the report of the Foreign Affairs Committee on the 2024 budget. They did not have the approval of the Foreign Affairs Committee. We said that this has just been raised as a side issue. They want to take us by surprise. You have to come back later. In any case, the current economic conditions do not support such astronomical increases you are trying to present. We made this point very clear. So they just exploited a loophole, taking advantage of the general fees and charge. And they know that once it is laid, you need 2/3. And NDC MPs, we are equal numbers, 137. We don't have 2/3 to stop this moving train. So that is why I have said in my statement that, look, we will not accept this betrayal, this undermine of our committee. We want the foreign minister, and I heard her in the clip you just played saying, Parliament has asked us to do this.
Right.
How did Parliament ask you to do this? You brought this to Parliament, smuggled it in the fees and charges, and you've had your 21 days. Don't shift this to Parliament. This is your idea. When you first mooted this idea, we told you it is not a great idea. The timing is not good. There will be such an uproar. Ghanaians will be totally upset with us. If they had listened to our advice, look, I even gave them a route. I said that, look, wait for economic conditions to improve.
Right.
Then you can do this in a gradual manner. Read page 23 of the verbatim report. It's all there. That is what I said. That, look, wait. If you really claim, if we do see the number, and I said, look, we haven't seen the financials yet, but if you do bring the financials and you have a case that we are beginning to make losses in the production of passports, even though passports have never been a profit-making business. There are many countries in this world where there are even categories of their citizens who receive passports for free. For example, if you are serving in the army, if you are in a vulnerable group, like those who receive LEAP in
Right.
Ghana, the poorest of the poor, in many countries, they don't pay for passport. These are services that we should render. And when I hear the minister and her colleagues at the ministry speak as though passports have become some elitist document, if
they say if you have no need for it,
if you
then
can buy expensive tickets, then you have no business. I mean, when did this mindset arrive in Ghana? If you look at Ghana's passport regime, we have always had a category for the vulnerable, the ordinary passport applicants. They pay the lowest of the low. Look, I am still not convinced that government is subsidizing, because you know why?
No.
Within the fee structure, inherent in that structure, is a mechanism for the rich to subsidize the poor. So those who ask for premium service,
Right, expedited
VIP
services,
service,
right.
expedited service, if you notice, they pay sometimes 3 times, 5 times, 10 times. If you even want more pages, the 42 or 48
pages.
page passport, you pay more. And that is what has always been used to subsidize. I remember during Foreign Minister Hannah Tete's period, she always told us time without number at meetings, cabinet retreats, how that category was helping the vulnerable, and that vulnerable price will not go up no matter what. So what has changed?
There's a school of thought
inherent in this mechanism,
right,
is if you like, cross subsidy. So I really am shocked at the mindset of the minister. Look, it's not everybody who has to travel with a passport who is rich or is wealthy. Look, I know many students who have received scholarship, brilliant but needy students, and all they have to show up with at the embassy is a passport. Everything is paid for. You will not describe these people as wealthy. I know of many Ghanaians who have rare medical conditions, who require urgent medical attention abroad. It is not because they are wealthy, but we don't have the capacity, the expertise here to take care of them. I know of people, look, as ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I have lost count the number of times people have petitioned us that there is some situation with a family member abroad, either a brush with the law or has died, and they say, look, family members must rush in and come for the body and all of that, and they need help. They're never prepared to travel. So there are so many circumstances, including a national ID that people use passports for. So to hear our foreign minister speak as though passports have become such, an elitist document reserved for only some preordained few, it's very, very nauseating.
What do you say to those who suggest, for example, that the government has increased the fees for passports so to prevent or to discourage people from traveling, because a lot of the young people are clamoring for these passports, then the next thing you see, they are out of the country? What do you say to that?
Well, I have also heard all those conspiracy theories. I have to be frank and objective here that when the minister tried to obtain our buy-in at the committee, this was not stated as one of the reasons. She didn't tell us that there too many young people are traveling out and they want to stop it. So I would want to give the government the benefit of the doubt. Except that if you look at the statistics, and as ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, we track this consistently. The numbers have gone up increasingly. The thousands of people you see at embassies, even now, embassies, ambassadors, high commissioners are calling for reinforcement. You talk to the security agencies, calling for reinforcement. The last time that place at Abelempe, it was such a turmoil. So if you look at the numbers, you see thousands in the morning at embassies and then thousands at night at the airports. Everybody is leaving, is jackpying, as I'm told the youth now call it,
right,
on the streets.
Right.
So my advice to the government is that this won't work. This would not work. If you see how, do you know that we have banned all these recruitment agencies from sending people, particularly to the Gulf?
Right.
Are you aware that it hasn't worked? I have followed, I've even presented a paper on this to Parliament where these recruitment agencies are using other routes. And there are so many young people willing to pay to just get the hell out of here. So my advice to government is that improve our conditions. You said you had a magic wand to fix the economy. Fix it. For the first time in our history, we are being taken through a domestic debt exchange program. It's never happened. For the first time, pensioner bondholders can have access to their life earnings and savings. Look at how the Kama boss spoke the last time. I wept when I watched that video.
Right.
Look, the level of deprivation, the level of poverty, the unemployment is at an all-time high, 14.7%. These are the things they should fix. If the conspiracy theories are true, then they've totally missed the mark because it will not work. It will not work.
The passports that we have currently, I mean, another person said that, well, we have to pay these exorbitant fees because the passports that we have now will have chips embedded in them. Do you know, as a ranking member of the Committee on Foreign Affairs in Parliament, that as a matter of fact, what we have now or are going to have will have these chips embedded in them?
I can tell you on authority that claim is false, totally false. During the presentation of the 2024 budget at the committee, I asked the status of this chip embedded because it's been long in coming. The Honorable Hannah Tete almost finalized this. Then she handed it over. I don't know what has happened. It's been more than 7 years. I'm told there are all kinds of wranglings behind the scenes as to which favorite company they should go to. Once again, a procurement opportunity, they will not be transparent. Because do you know that even at the heart of this passport fees discussion is the fact that they do not open up the process. It's not competitive. Check. It's not competitive. So, for all you know, if it was competitive procurement processes necessarily drive down the cost. We would not be paying this if you were not just calling, favorite companies to come and do the deal for you. So back to the matter of chip-embedded passport. The minister told us at committee that they are not ready. They have not yet awarded the contract. So everybody who is going to pay these new fees, you are going to get the same old biometric passports, which many countries left behind about 10 years ago.
I see.
That's what you are going to get. So let nobody deceive you. If you like, do an experiment right now. Go pay that money. Maybe we all have to contribute and help you pay for it. And the passport that you will get is the old chip, the old biometric passport.
I see.
You are not going to get the new chip embedded passport, which has been in the works for many years, which this ministry has stalled in implementing. So please don't be deceived.
Again, there's been the argument that, well, if you can afford to buy tickets to travel, then why are you crying about the fees for a passport? And also the fact that, well, if you do not have need for the passport, do not go and take it. I thought that as a country, we are moving towards digitalization and growth, and so we are looking at a passport becoming a document that every citizen ideally should have. Why would anybody make those comments and see that as justification for, increasing the fees?
President Akufo-Addo's ministers must be sent back to an emergency workshop or seminar. Unfortunately, the bill that they will return with, we may regret that we even gave this advice. But we should tell them that they should do the workshop right at the cabinet room. They shouldn't go to a hotel or a resort. They shouldn't go to Pediasi. Right at just the Jubilee House. They should have it there. And they need to talk to themselves. Increasingly, the way ministers are speaking to citizens who have the power, who put them in office. People should always remember, these government appointees and officials and ministers should remember that without the people's vote, You are not there. You are not a minister. Your party is not in power. The constitution is clear. Power belongs to the people in Ghana. Sovereignty resides in the people. Increasingly, every matter comes, a minister is called, and the way they talk to us, so insulting, so condescending, it's like they are doing us a favor. If you can't serve in the ministerial role, go home, leave. Nobody is forcing you to serve us. The last time the energy minister said, oh, go and produce those who are calling for a timetable, go and produce your own timetable. I mean, how dare the minister? How dare you? Now people are complaining about passport, which is a right. Then you tell them that, oh, if you can't afford a ticket, don't you know ticket prices are going up? Who tells the minister that everybody who goes for a passport is because they want to travel? Are there, even if they will be traveling, are there not many, many ways of traveling? Who says that everybody buys a ticket to travel? I've just told you about many students on a yearly basis. And the irony is that this is a minister who keeps signing a lot of bilateral and multilateral scholarship agreements, who goes out there encouraging governments to give our students, our young people, scholarships. Why do we have the scholarship secretariat? Why do we have Get Fund Scholarship? Because we identified that they are brilliant but needy people who would need help. Why do we have GMPC Foundation offering scholarships? Even though, to a large extent, all these institutions have abused scholarships. And let me commend the Fourth Estate for the work they have done, exposing how affluent people who have no business coming near scholarships are the ones who are being granted these scholarships. And the real brilliant but needy people have been frustrated and left out. So the mindset of our ministers must change. They should show us some respect. Look, all the Ghanaian people want is that you show us respect. You honor us. How you come to us when you need our vote is the same way when we are giving the votes. That's how you must conduct yourself. This continuous loose talk, continuous condescending language has to stop. We have taken enough of the insults from these ministers. It has to stop. People don't apply for passports because they are wealthy or they want to go and buy expensive tickets. Look, there are many, many transactions today, banks and all of that, that require you to have a passport. People go for passport as identity. Is the minister aware that if you come to constituencies like mine, the Ghana card rollout has been a disaster? You will find up to 30% of my constituents who have Ghana card as we speak. So people are using other means. If you can get a passport and use that for your identity, great. If you can find a health insurance card, you find it. I think that's what is going on in our country. That is the reality. And there are so many people, traders who move across the borders, Togo, Benin, and all of that, who will not be flying. You know, and I've told you about cases like medical emergencies, people who must fly out to help distressed families and all of that. So there are so many uses of the passport. Passports are not considered luxury items in any country. That is why if you go to the US, for example, they have categories of people who they don't pay if you want to serve in the army and all of that. If you are amongst those who receive food stamps, you are amongst the poor. They don't let you. They don't allow you to even pay a penny. You know. So what's going on in this country? When did principles that have been settled for decades? When did it change?
Would you support those who also say, for example, that if we can get very fast, efficient, and effective passport issuing system where people don't have to wait for months and sometimes a full year before they get their passports, then paying these new fees would be okay, because then they would have been compensated for all the wait and the anxiety that they would have had if the passport had not come in. What do you say to that?
It's a brilliant suggestion that the minister should be speaking to how she will be improving efficiency. The last time she stormed the place, and took her workers by surprise. I commended her, but I told her that it's not sustainable. Fire those, because there's a passport director, deputy, there's a whole management.
Right.
If he has to take the minister to come and bust Goro boys and racketeering, what are they doing there? Is it that they are sleeping on the job or they are complicit? So I said, put in place sustainable mechanisms, including CCTV and all of that. And I'm glad that they are doing some work on that. At least the budget we approved for them had some of those provisions. So we need to have a separate discussion about how we can improve the efficiency. I remember that since the period of the Honorable Hannah Tete as Foreign Minister, we have been computerizing the process so that it reduces the manual interfacing. You can stay at home and start the process, apply online, and all of that. I think that has to be deepened. In Ghana, it's unfortunate that if you see my latest expose this morning, a lot of the digitalization going on has rather led to more inefficiency, more duplication, and it's become another avenue to create loot and share. So we need to have that discussion about efficiency, but let's delink it from asking people to pay these draconian fees across the board. Because do you know that as we speak, we do have a backlog of over 2,000 passports. People have been waiting in the queue for months. How are these fee hikes going to address this? It will not. It will not.
I see.
So if the minister had said that, look, we want to even pay some more attention to those who want expedited service, who have urgent cases and all of that. And when the economy really recovers, not kind of realize the economy has turned the corner kind of thing, when the other indices are worsening, not that one.
You don't want the Joshua and Caleb economy?
No, or the Zachariah 4-1 economy. No, that's not the kind of economy
I see.
the Ghanaian people are looking for. So when we really recover, you can do a graduated increase. That is if I still maintain that we want to see the financials. Look, Ghanaians didn't send us to Parliament to just go there and be yes men. Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, as soon as you come, you say anything. Oh, we want an increase. You are subsidizing there. Oh, yeah, have it. Go with it. No. How will I, if I do that and after you called me for an interview and you ask me, so why did you vote for the increment? What are the analysis? Government says they are subsidized. By how much? Where is the subsidy coming from? And then I cannot answer. I mean, do you think the good people of Northton will return me to Parliament? It means that I'm not there. I'm not fit to be there, or I'm not there doing what they expect of me. So let's see the justification. Let's see the financials, even the procurement process, because as I've told you, there are ways that the procurement processes rather make these whole services in the public space more expensive. If it is competitive, you make sure that you really, challenge the vendors. I am sure that we will not be paying. And you see, a lot of the comparison to that I've seen going around and which the minister is want to speak to, that, Togo, Benin, Liberia, and all of that. In printing, we all know for decades, if not centuries, that the more you print, the lesser the cost.
Right.
So let's be careful about comparing countries that are not even up to the size of Accra with our population. I don't expect, because I've heard them say, it's the same contractor who is also working in Liberia, and the Liberians are paying more than us. I mean, what do you expect? In printing, what's the population of Liberia? So there are a lot of simplistic analysis going on, and it's just not sitting. You wonder what's going on here, So let them come back. Let's have the financials. Let's have a proper, thorough, rigorous analysis, and then we know where we go from here. If there's justification and when. The timing is important, and then how. I don't believe in one fell swoop, even if we must increase. One fell swoop. And then I want some guarantees as well. As you are coming to us to pay more, what are you also going to
giving
do to improve the service?
Right.
to improve the service.
Right.
It shouldn't just be, look, when I pay, a lot of these, look, some of these amounts they are putting out there, do you know that is people's monthly salary? Some people have the average Ghanaian worker. You know how many people can come up with over 500 cities? That's like half of their, find out how much teachers are earning when they start out. Just find out. And that's about half of their salary. So these figures are no joke, So what are you also going to do to improve the service? We must have these discussions first.
Right.
And then you must show respect to your committee, to the Foreign Affairs Committee. We don't tell you that go and come back. Prepare, come with all the financials, all the analysis. Then you go and take advantage of fees and charges and dribble us. I mean, what kind of bad faith is that? It's so wrong.
Honorable Okujetua Blackwell, thank you very much indeed for your time. He's a ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament and also member of Parliament for the North Tongue constituency in the Volta region. We're grateful that you could speak with us this morning.
You're most welcome.
Hey, Minyan Taba.